STARS, the native cryptocurrency of the Stargaze zone, is down more than 90%. So it's now a good time to buy more stars. And besides, why is actually Fortnite one of the big reasons why I am super bullish on Stargaze long term? This is what we will discuss in today's episode. So let us not waste much more time and get this episode started.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go! Before we kickstart this episode though, two disclosures. First of all, as always, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm just a German guy on the internet who loves to talk about the interchain. And besides, yes, I also hold some stars in my portfolio. Before we dive deeper into the price action and into the tokenomics of the STARS token, let us talk about Stargaze in general. So what is the project actually all about? Stargaze is its own blockchain and is IBC enabled. It uses the Cosmos SDK, so it is clearly part of the interchain. But now the question is, why do an NFT marketplace actually need its own blockchain? I mean, there are NFT marketplaces like Rarible, Metaplex, and OpenSea, and all of them are not their own blockchain. So why is Stargaze its own blockchain? So why is it a good idea to be an own blockchain as an NFT marketplace? Reason number one, obviously, independency. Because we saw it on Solana multiple times already in the past couple of weeks and months. Solana went down multiple times. And of course, also NFT marketplaces that were built on top of Solana suffer from this. Because when the underlying layer one is down, you can't use the NFT marketplace that is on top of this layer one. And this is why Stargaze has a big advantage here, because Stargaze doesn't go down in that sense because it is its own blockchain and isn't dependent on an underlying layer one. Reason number two, more composability. As already mentioned, Stargaze is IBC enabled, and this is very useful, especially for all the different users, because from Stargaze they can transfer their NFTs to other Cosmos chains and vice versa. This is very useful, especially in the gaming sector, but more about that in a second. But what I really want to highlight here is we see more and more chains enabling IBC, such as Near, for example. The news broke last week, and it was all about that Near could enable IBC very soon, and in that way users would theoretically have the possibility to bring their NFTs from Near to Stargaze and vice versa. This is technically generally possible. So Stargaze has more composability because they were able to decide to enable IBC from the very beginning. And other NFT marketplaces, let's say NFT marketplaces on top of Ethereum, they are dependent on what the underlying layer one is doing. So when Ethereum says, no, we won't enable IBC, well, then you are stuck in the Ethereum ecosystem and you have to rely on, for example, bridges. Reason number three, security. Stargaze has some significant advantages in regards of security compared to other NFT marketplaces. Because again, there are NFT marketplaces and they are reliant on the security of the underlying layer one. And we saw so many smart contract hacks on different NFT marketplaces. And well, this is not possible on Stargaze because Stargaze is not an EVM. So smart contract hacks are possible on NFT marketplaces that are built on top of a layer one that is also an EVM. But again, Stargaze is not an EVM, so smart contract hacks that occurred multiple times in the NFT mania of 2021 are not possible in Stargaze. And also other attacks like re-entrancy attacks are not possible. In that sense, Stargaze has some significant security advantages. Also because when attacking Stargaze, you're not attacking a protocol. No, you're attacking an entire blockchain. Reason number four, more use cases for the token. We will dive deeper into this in a second, but in a nutshell, most NFT marketplaces are built on top of a layer one, and therefore their tokens are only governance tokens. You can't do much with them. But Stargaze is also, or the STARS token better said, is also a staking token. When staking stars, you help secure the chain and get rewarded for it, so there are more economic incentives to hold stars. As you can see, these are the reasons why Stargaze is its own blockchain. There are significant advantages. But now let us have a closer look at the Stargaze token. To get a broad overview, let us have a closer look at how stars performed in the past couple of months. And well, small teaser, stars didn't perform too well. In the beginning, just after the launch, stars exploded. The all-time high is around 82 cents or so. And now we are at around 2 cents. And of course, also stars suffered from the conditions in the crypto industry. So many people sold their cryptos anyways, including stars. And when we have a closer look at the current market cap of stars is $13 million, almost $14 million actually. The fully diluted market cap, so if all the stars tokens would be in circulation now, then the market cap would be $94 million. And many people wonder now, wow, actually $94 million for a fully diluted NFT marketplace, that's quite a lot. Let's have a look at Rarible, because Rarible is actually one of the largest and most important NFT marketplaces in the crypto industry. And as you can see here, the fully diluted market cap of Rarible is $58 million. And the current market cap is $20 million. Why is this so? Well, Stargaze has a very high inflation. We will dive deeper into this in a second. But a small disclosure here, because the market cap right now is around $40 million, but in the peak it was much, 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 much higher. Because the initial supply of Stargaze, again, we will dive deeper into this in a second, but the initial supply of Stargaze was 1 billion. And at 82 cents, the market cap was worth almost $1 billion, which is insane because back then Stargaze was not fully launched, and an NFT marketplace that is worth, so market cap wise, almost $1 billion. This is kind of insane. But a small disclosure here, because the market cap basically just represents the last price the STARS token was traded for. And in the early days, there was not much liquidity on different dexes like Osmosis, for example. So the liquidity was very, very slightly. And this is why the STARS token pumped so significantly. Many people just kept their airdrops. They started to stake stars because they also got a very high APR. And this is why not many stars were on the open market. And this is why people overbought stars in a very short period of time. And then we peaked at 82 cents. And of course, as you can see here, the price went down significantly. And now we are at 2 cents. So now the question is now a good time to buy stars? Is stars fairly valued at the moment? Therefore, let us have a closer look at the stars token distribution and airdrop. This article was published shortly before Stargaze launched in October 2021. And the first thing here, and I think this is the most important information we can get here, is that Stargaze was or is very inflationary in the early days. As you can see here, Stargaze will start with an initial supply of 1 billion stars. An additional 1 billion stars will be issued the first year. And then a thirdening schedule starts. So as you can see here, we started with 1 billion stars, and we will have a closer look how these 1 billion were distributed. But then in the second year, this gets thirdened, and then in the third year it gets thirdened another time, and so on and so forth. And this is how stars has an asymptotic max supply of 4 billion stars, which means that stars will have a maximum supply of almost $4 billion, not precisely $4 billion, but the max supply gets very, 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 very close to 4 billion. So this is very important to mention here. And again, if we go back to the CoinMarketCap website here, this is what the fully diluted supply says. So if we have around 4 billion stars token, this would be worth $94 million at the moment. So if there would be 4 billion stars tokens on the market, the market cap of Stargaze would be $94 million. Okay, this is very important to understand. And now let us have a closer look at how these stars were distributed. So this is a Genesis supply. So this is how the stars token was distributed on day one. 21.5% were delegated to the foundation. 20% of the Genesis supply flowed into the community pool, and another 25% were used for the airdrop. So people who were eligible for the airdrop got some stars. Then 16% went to seed, 5% went to all the validators, 10% went to the founders, and 2.5% went to advisors. And I think this is a very, very fair distribution. First of all, we saw a massive airdrop, and considering where STARS was, this was actually a lot of money. I think it was mentioned here. It was a fair drop, so everybody who staked 5 Atom or 50 Osmo was able to claim 2,453 stars, and in the peak this was worth somewhere between $2,100 and $3,000. So this was a lot of money back then. But yeah, anyway, the people were very happy. We see a large share here for the airdrop. Then the foundation also got a large part of it. I think that's also good because the foundation helps the project to go forward. Then we have the community pool, which is also good because here the community can decide what to do in order to push the project forward. The only question I have here is actually how the community decided to use this money so far. I think this would be like a very useful information, and also who is in charge of the foundation part here. But yeah, maybe we will get an answer on this. Maybe you know the answer, so please comment in the comment section below. Yeah, 5% to validators is also very good. 10% founders is also totally fair. They risked everything to set up this project, and advisors only got 2.5%, which is good because rough estimation from my end here. So when you become an advisor of a project, a very common advisor allocation is 0.1% of the Genesis supply. So you can estimate that Stargaze has between 20 and 25 advisors, I would say. So this is totally fair in my view. So it's very, very well distributed. We do not see a lot of VCs holding STARS tokens that are about to dump STARS as soon as it pumps again. So I'm a big fan of this token distribution, about this Genesis token distribution. And as you can see, the Genesis supply will only make 27.6% after all the STARS tokens are on the market. So again, we will see a lot of inflation in the coming 1 to 2 years. So I think this is almost everything we have to know. The only thing that is left is how the rewards are being distributed as of now, because again, Stargaze has a high inflation. So what is this inflation used for, if you want to say it like this? And 35% are going to stakers, so to people who stake STARS. Then 45% are being used for NFT incentives. So people are being incentivized to come to Stargaze, to stake NFTs, to bid on NFTs, to buy NFTs, etc., etc. 5% are going into the community pool, and 15% are going to the developers to push the project forward. I also like this distribution because it's very focused on incentivizing people to contribute to the project. So stakers are highly incentivized, but also people who want to use Stargaze in order to buy NFTs, in order to launch NFT collections, etc., etc. So I'm a big fan of that, actually. And another thing I really want to highlight here is how active the Stargaze zone is. Because Stargaze is not a small project in the interchain. It's actually the 6th most active zone regarding IBC transfers. So this is pretty interesting. So Stargaze is used quite often, and this is always a good sign. So in a nutshell, we see a project that started in 2021. It had a very high inflation. It pumped significantly. Now it went significantly down, but still Stargaze is being used pretty well. And on the other side, we see a lot of incentives for new users, for new stakers to join Stargaze. And now let us have a closer look at something very different, because now I want to know how decentralized Stargaze is. This is also, of course, very important to rate a project. And I was, to be honest, very fascinated when I saw this. So let's click on validators and let's elaborate how centralized or decentralized the voting power in the Stargaze network is. And to be honest, I think Stargaze is one of the most decentralized Cosmos zones in the interchain. Look at this. So Figment is on rank number 1 with 9.45% of the cumulative share. It has a 9.45% voting power in the network, and then it goes down in a very slow way. So then we have Cosmos Station here with 6.97, 394, and then it goes down and down and down and down and down. And then, of course, we're looking for 67%, because 67% of voting power are necessary in order to make changes in the blockchain. And as you can see here, the 30-second validator is overcoming the 67% here. So as you can see here, and I think this shows it very clearly, this green line here, it's super decentralized. I'm really fascinated how a decentralized Stargaze actually is. So big shout out here to Stargaze. This was managed very, very responsible and in a very good way. The only thing that annoys me that FRENS VALIDATOR is only on rank 58. So please, guys, if you want, delegate to FRENS VALIDATOR. Anyway, very fascinated about this. Stargaze is actually a very decentralized network. But now the question is, okay, does it make sense to buy Stargaze tokens now? And the answer is, in my view, of course, I'm not a financial advisor. I do not have a glass bowl at home, but as of now, I'm not accumulating more STARS tokens from the open market. So I'm not buying, but I'm holding my STARS, I'm staking my STARS, and I'm compounding my staking rewards. But as you can see here, we are still in the first year because Stargaze was launched in October 2021, and we will still see a very high inflation in the first year and also in the second year. So I'm waiting a little bit. Also, and I think you can see it here, tokens for seed investors, validators, founders, and advisors are locked up for 1 year and linearly vested after that for another 6 months to a year. So some people might begin to dump their STARS in a couple of months from now, so in a not too distant future from now. So this is also the reason why I'm a little bit careful right now. And besides, of course, the crypto industry is not in a very good mood right now. Also, Bitcoin is suffering. And if Bitcoin is suffering, I don't see STARS pumping significantly. Same with Atom or ETH. And also the macroeconomic situation is not very ideal. So I'm not buying anything right now, generally, but especially not STARS at the moment, even though I love the project. It's super decentralized, etc., etc. But right now it's not a super ideal timing, in my view. So this is what I'm doing. I'm not buying STARS, but I plan to buy more STARS sometime in the future, but not now, maybe in a year from now or so. And now I think this is also obvious. What we have to discuss is the Stargaze NFT marketplace in general. Let's click on launch app. And now the question is, we want to see as many NFT collections as possible, because the bigger the NFT culture on Stargaze is, the more vibrant the NFT ecosystem is. And of course, this is also how the STARS tokens the STARS token has a value accrual, because when people are interested in buying NFTs on Stargaze, also the STARS token profits from that. So we see many NFT collections here. Most of them, are profile pictures and so on. But I like, for example, BadKids. BadKids is a project that is very well known in the interchain. So it's part of this IBC culture, I would say. And many well-known cosmonauts also have a BadKid already as a profile picture. So this is like one part where I would say, okay, the Stargaze blockchain definitely has an NFT culture, because many well-known cosmonauts are interacting there. They are buying NFTs. We see all these NFTs as profile pictures on Twitter also. So this is very cool. Another interesting project that I really want to show to you guys is IBC Friends. IBC Friends is actually my favorite NFT project. I don't know if it will pump significantly or so. I do not really care, just like the NFTs. I bought a couple of them for me as a profile picture. I just like them. Of course, we have to see how these kinds of NFTs will perform in the future. We saw this big mania in 2021 when people bought profile pictures for hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm not sure if this will return at some point. Might be, but I'm also not sure if IBC Friends will be a part of this. But I bought some IBC Friends because I just like them. And another one that I found very interesting was this one here. Woman from Cosmos, also a hype project. Many well-known cosmonauts also have Woman from Cosmos profile pictures, and they are also quite expensive actually here. This NFT is worth 400,000 stars. So we definitely see an NFT culture here. Like, people are willed to spend a lot of money on NFT profile pictures on Stargaze. Another thing I want to highlight here is the user friendliness of Stargaze. You get so many information here. For example, from Woman from Cosmos, from the very first collection, 12 NFTs are for sale. In total, there are 42, and there are 10% royalties, and these kinds of NFTs have a floor price of 75,000 stars. And then there is like a small story. You can also check out the founder here. His Twitter handle is linked here, and also you can join the Discord. So it's very user friendly. So it gives us the opportunity to dive deeper into this and to learn more about every NFT collection. But now it's very important to discuss one thing. I mentioned already, the question is now, why the hell should people buy NFT profile pictures anymore? Is the hype gone, and is Stargaze just dependent on people buying and selling art? Not really, because here is a very hot take from my end. Because now the question is, why am I still bullish on Stargaze, even though I'm not buying Stargaze as of now, and even though we just have some NFTs on Stargaze listed here? What is the main reason why I'm bullish on Stargaze? And let's ignore all the security advantages, the composability advantages, etc., etc. Let's ignore this for a second. For me, the most important aspect here are developments that we have seen at Fortnite, actually. It sounds weird, but it is how it is, because Fortnite was a game changer in the gaming industry a couple of years ago. Why? Because Fortnite brought crossplay into the gaming industry for the very first time. For the people who are maybe a little bit younger and for the people who don't do gaming that much, just want to give you a good example. So in the past, the gaming industry consisted of many, many different isolated silos. So for example, if I had a PlayStation, I wasn't able to play online against a friend who had an Xbox. Even though we had the same game, etc., it wasn't possible that we played against each other. And I also remember I had a football game on my phone, but I'm an iOS user, as you can see. And the thing is that all my friends that had an Android weren't able to play with me, even though they had the same game on their mobile phone, which is like kind of stupid if you think about this. But Fortnite broke this border. Fortnite is the first cross-chain game, so it doesn't matter from which device you're playing. So I am not a Fortnite gamer, but I believe it's possible that I can play Fortnite with my iPad, while my little brother is playing Fortnite on the PlayStation, while the rest of the FRENS Validator team is playing Fortnite on the Xbox. It's possible that we all play against each other, even though we have different devices. So this is pretty cool. And what I want to say here is that the gaming industry is shifting in this direction. Crossplay. And now this is where Stargaze again comes into play. And here we are again, the composability of Stargaze. Because I believe that we will see all of these play-to-E games not launching on Ethereum or Solana or whatever, because if you as a game are deployed on top of a layer 1 and you find it hard that other people on other layer 1s are interacting with your game because the layer 1 the game is deployed on is an isolated silo, that's not ideal. That's not ideal for the gamers. The gamers, they want to trade different things, especially when the metaverse is emerging. So let's say, for example, I got a sword in a game on Solana, and I think, hey, now I want to play a game that, let's say, is deployed on Juno, and now I want to use this sword in this game on Juno to play against my friends, and all of a sudden it's not possible because Solana is not IBC enabled. What am I doing then? Yeah, it's not very good. And also the other thing is that I can't trade it that well. I'm just able to trade it most likely within the Solana ecosystem, but not outside, even though it could have a use case. And again, the metaverse could become gigantic. So I think setting up silos right now already is not very ideal. So I think that the gaming industry will shifting into a complete interchain future where everything is very well connected through IBC, for example. So I think IBC will become a very powerful tool for gaming in the future, especially for P2E games. A very cool P2E game, by the way, that is about to launch on Archway is Killepa. Huge shout out to the team. You can check them out. The Twitter handle is in the description below. So this is actually the reason why I am bullish on Stargaze, because of games like Fortnite, because we see the gaming industry shifting into a cross-play future. So no borders anymore. And I think we will see the same thing on blockchains. And Stargaze could become basically the hub that brings together all the NFTs from all the different ecosystems. And you as a gamer, you can buy the different NFTs on Stargaze and send it to other blockchains. You can use these NFTs in other games, etc., etc., etc. So this is actually very cool. And this is where the utility of NFTs comes into play, because I don't think that Stargaze will become a very important NFT marketplace just because you can trade, profile pictures and art like this. No, I believe that all kinds of things will be traded on Stargaze. Like all kinds of NFTs with different utilities will be launched on Stargaze, and you can use these kinds of NFTs in the metaverse, in P2E games, whatever. The possibilities here are endless. And this is why I think that Stargaze could become this dominant marketplace, because it has so significant advantages. Another thing here, and I think this is also very important, is the monetary premium of stars. As you can see here, you can't buy this artwork here with Atom, for example. No, you have to buy it with stars. And all the big NFTs that were sold in the past, how was the price calculated? In ETH. Most of the times, if you go on CoinDesk, if you go on Cointelegraph, the prices are listed in ETH. So ETH reached the status of monetary premium. Same thing with Bitcoin. Also, many prices are calculated in Bitcoin already, like the portfolio, for example. Many people say, okay, it just makes sense to measure your portfolio performance in Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is a monetary premium. Also, Solana reached this monetary premium level, kind of, but not so much compared to Bitcoin and ETH. And I think Stargaze, for example, could reach this monetary premium status as well very soon, if more NFTs, if more hype comes to Stargaze, if more utility comes to Stargaze. So, for example, that more games are bringing their NFTs to Stargaze. I think this is how it could start, so that Stars reaches this monetary premium level. One last thing I really want to mention, though, is that Stargaze also needs a solution for one crucial topic, which is that if you are an artist and you launch an NFT, let's say like this one, on Stargaze, and someone buys it and you get, let's say, 5,000 stars, most people do not really have an incentive to hold the stars. So I do not have very official information here, but as far as I know, Stargaze is talking to other teams outside of the Stargaze team, and they are looking for a solution in order to incentivize artists and sellers to hold stars, to start staking stars. So there are apparently some ideas that were brought up to the table, but nothing is official yet. Full disclosure here, nothing is official yet. But this is also something that Stargaze has to work on, also in order to reach this monetary premium level. All in all, these are the reasons why I'm still bullish on stars. Yet I'm not purchasing more stars tokens from the open market. The macroeconomic conditions aren't too ideal at the moment. And besides, stars still has a pretty high inflation rate, so I'm waiting a little bit. But nonetheless, Stargaze clearly has some security advantages, composability advantages, and of course, it's a very independent project because it's not deployed on top of layer 1. And also, it's part of the Cosmos ecosystem with IBC, etc., you name it. And this is why I'm generally very bullish on Stargaze. Also, you have more utilities for the tokens. For example, on Rarible, you are always buying these NFTs with ETH, for example, and not with Rari, the native cryptocurrency of Rarible, and therefore Rari is just a governance token. But Stars has the potential to reach monetary premium, and besides, you can stake Stars in order to secure the chain, and then you also get rewarded for it with juicy staking rewards. So these are some reasons why I'm bullish on Stars, but to break my bet a little bit down, my bet here is not directly that Stargaze will become the most gigantic NFT marketplace here. My bigger bet here is that P2E games will be part of the interchain. So that we will see this P2E game revolution and the metaverse primarily on independent blockchains in the Cosmos ecosystem and not deployed on different layer 1s that are completely isolated. I believe that Fortnite is a very, very good example of where the future of gaming is heading, and Stargaze could take full advantage of that. But now let us know what you think of Stargaze. Are you holding some stars in your portfolio? Let us know in the comment section below. Also, subscribe to this YouTube channel and give this video a like. This triggers the YouTube algorithm and leads to an atom pump on the other hand. And with that being said, guys, thank you for watching, and I hope I will see you the next time.
I mean, the Terra ecosystem was largely made up of Anchor, actually. I remember actually not many weeks before the collapse, I saw someone mention how flourishing it was, how there was so much stuff going on. And I went to the ecosystem page to click through the projects. And I mean, Anchor was the beast, right? It was holding, 14 billion UST. And then the next protocol, I don't remember, Mars or Mirror, it was vastly smaller. Like those, I mean, significant TVL in it for sure, but compared to Anchor, it was nothing. So like you could almost say that Terra was Anchor.